Have you ever argued with God? Maybe you've prayed something like this: God, punish them now so they know you're powerful. Sounds familiar? Well, that's what Jonah wanted. But what followed was drama of epic proportions. And let me tell you, Jonah wasn't ready for the storm or the fish. Let's take you to an African morning market. Women selling fresh vegetables, a goat running loose, and children shouting as they chase each other with sticks. In the corner of the market, you see Jonah, a prophet of God, sitting on a wooden stool looking miserable. You know that look? The one you give when someone sends you to fetch water during Hamatan. That was Jonah. God had given Jonah a task. Go to Nineveh. Tell them to repent. But Jonah muttered under his breath, Nineveh? Ah, God, those wicked people. What if you forgive them? What kind of prophet will I be if what I prophesied doesn't happen? No, I'm not going. So Jonah grabbed his bag and ran to the harbor. He saw a ship going to Tarshish, the opposite direction, and thought, perfect. God can't find me there. Jonah boarded the ship, probably ate some roasted plantain, and fell into a deep sleep. Meanwhile, God sent a storm. This wasn't just any storm, it was the kind that flips canoes and makes sailors cry. Imagine an African thunderstorm, winds howling, rain pouring like someone left the tap open, the sea tossing the ship like a bowl of fufu. The sailors started shouting like market women, throwing cargo into the sea. One of them saw Jonah snoring and shook him awake. Oga, how can you be sleeping? Pray to your God before we all die. The sailors, desperate to find out who caused the storm, decided to cast lots. Now imagine this scene. When you've done something wrong and people are about to find out, there's that awkward look on your face. Jonah had that exact expression. The lot fell on Jonah and he sighed. It's me. I'm running from God. Throw me into the sea and the storm will stop. At first, the sailors hesitated, but when the waves got angrier, they shouted, Sorry, Lord. The moment Jonah hit the water, the storm calmed. The sailors probably breathed a sigh of relief. But Jonah, his troubles were just beginning. A massive fish, let's call it a giant African tilapia, swallowed Jonah whole. Inside the fish, it was pitch black, slimy and smelly. Jonah sat there thinking, so this is how I'll die. Inside a fish? God, please, I'm sorry. If you save me, I'll go to Nineveh. Just get me out of this fish. After 3 days, the fish spat Jonah out onto dry land. Imagine Jonah, covered in fish slime, looking like he just came out of a river. He dusted himself off and said, Fine, God, I'll go to Nineveh. Jonah entered Nineveh shouting, Repent! In 40 days, God will destroy this city. To Jonah's surprise, the people of Nineveh actually listened. Even the king took off his royal robes, put on sackcloth, and declared a city-wide fast. From the palace to the goats in the yard, everyone repented. But Jonah, he wasn't happy. He sat outside the city, sulking like a child whose mother refused to buy him sugarcane. He shouted to God, Ah, God, didn't I say this would happen? You're too merciful. These people deserve punishment, not forgiveness. God decided to teach Jonah a lesson. He made a plant grow to give Jonah shade from the scorching sun, and Jonah was happy for the first time. But the next day, God sent a worm to destroy the plant. Jonah got angry and shouted, God, why? This plant was the only good thing I had. God replied, Jonah, you care about a plant that grew in one day. Shouldn't I care about Nineveh, a city with thousands of people who don't know their right hand from their left? Jonah wanted God to act wickedly, to destroy Nineveh because, as a prophet, he didn't want his words to seem false. But God showed Jonah and us that his heart is full of compassion. How often do we, like Jonah, want God to punish others while forgetting the mercy he has shown us? The story of Jonah reminds us that God's love extends to everyone, even those we consider undeserving. So next time you argue with God about showing mercy, remember Jonah's fishy adventure and let God be God.
Thank you for watching this dramatic retelling of Jonah's story. If it made you laugh, think, or both, share it with someone who needs to hear about God's amazing mercy. Until next time, stay blessed.